Hey guys, today I want to talk about something maybe a little controversial, but I want to talk about why copying tutorials isn't helping you. Now, I'm not saying stop watching tutorials because that's what I do, but here are 5 tips for you to really think about. A lot of people treat watercolor tutorials like a recipe. You do this, then this step, use these exact colors, and if that doesn't turn out, guess what? You're probably thinking that, well, I must have done something wrong. But I'm here to tell you that watercolor just doesn't work like baking. There is no guaranteed outcome, even if you follow every step perfectly. A tutorial can show you one possible result, but not a rule. So your paper, your water, your timing, they're all different. So instead of asking, did I do this right? Ask, what is my paper doing right now? And that shift from following steps to responding to what is happening on the paper is going to make watercolor really start to make sense to you, and things are going to click. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to be live here from my beach. So I'm on vacation, and no computer, just an iPhone. So these are going to be less edited and more real, so I hope you don't mind that. All right, so let's get into it. So you've probably followed watercolor tutorials exactly. Same color, same brush, same steps, and your painting looks nothing like ours or theirs. I know that feeling, and it's funny because as an artist, I have done tutorials from other artists, and I will say it's frustrating because the first thought that I usually have is, maybe I'm not any good at this. But what I want to clear up is that you are not bad at watercolor. It's that most tutorials aren't actually teaching you how to paint. They're teaching you how to copy what works once on someone else's paper in someone else's space. So what I want to talk about today is why that keeps so many of us artists stuck and what really helps watercolor start to make sense for you. So I'm going to be painting a very simple tree using my Leban's brush. I've got my new granulating mission paints, and if you want to watch the full tutorial of this, it is up on my patrons. And speaking of patrons, I just want to thank you. Sorry I cannot list your names across here right now because I don't know how to do this on my phone for editing, but thank you so much for being here and supporting this channel, because without you, this YouTube channel wouldn't be here. All right, let's get into it. Tip number 1. Tutorials really hide decisions. And what I mean by that is most tutorials will show our actions as a teacher or a painter, but not our decisions. So like I might say, add more water here or drop in the pigment now. But what I might not be telling you is why now? Why that much water? Why this color instead of this color? And so what you don't see is myself or any other artist, we're kind of silently asking to ourselves, is this paper still damp enough? Is this area about to bloom? Do I stop? Do I risk ruining it? And that thinking is invisible to you. But that thinking is everything, because making those decisions is how things happen, and how things happen at the right time. Tip number 2. Same steps, different paper, equal different results. So you can follow the exact same steps and you might still get a completely different result. And why? Well, because watercolor reacts to so many things. It reacts to the paper quality. It reacts to humidity. It reacts to the drying speed. When do you add more water? When do you add the pigment? It reacts to water load. Do I have too much water on here right now? Do I have enough water on here right now? So tutorials assume that the setups are going to be just like the artists, but watercolor doesn't work that way, right? So when it fails, what happens is beginners tend to blame themselves. And instead of realizing what variables had changed. And I also want you to keep in mind that since there are so many variables, you don't know which one it is that might not have gone your way. All right, let's talk about tip number 3. But before I do that, let me just say that I forgot to tell you this is hot press paper. This is my Layton hot press. And I thought I would try the new Mission granulating paints on this because it's a smooth surface. I wanted to see if it reacted a lot different on the hot press versus the cold press. Someone had recommended that I try the hot press with the granulating colors. And so this was a fun experiment that we talked about. All right, tip number 3. Tutorials sometimes skip timing because sometimes they're sped up, right? Or they're slowed down. So this is really the biggest secret. You have wet stages, you have damp stages, you have dry stages, and sometimes we don't talk about that. And this is the part that most nobody teaches clearly because we're usually setting things up for edits and for, a flow process. And I think that's why I try to do a little bit more of the lives. Well, not lives, but I try not to change the speed of my tutorials. Lately, anyway, it's just like a free-for-all where I just go in and start recording. And on Patreon especially, because usually I don't edit it, I just let it run. And so, of course, on YouTube, things are usually a little bit quicker. So you miss out on a lot of those things that teachers might talk about to, behind closed doors or to the patrons or in full classes. So watercolor isn't always just about color. It's about the timing. And so that same brush stroke, on wet paper versus on dry paper versus on damp paper, all 3 of those are going to create different effects. So, but tutorials, what we'll say usually because we're speeding up things is, wait a few minutes here or dry it or, to tell you to, wait until the sheen of the paper is gone. So it's hard to express sometimes, how much is a bit. We don't count seconds when we're teaching. And, what I usually do is read the shine of the paper. And I know by looking at it, you can't always tell on the camera or after I've recorded things, I'm not holding it up at a certain angle. I mean, sometimes we'll hold it up for a second and show you. But that skill only comes from watching your paper, not copying steps from my paper, right? So timing is a very important thing. And like I said, it's hard to capture that when you are painting things quickly or you are doing edits. All right, tip number 4, tutorials don't teach you when to stop. And even me as an artist, I sometimes don't know when to stop. And you can obviously learn to, fix paintings when something goes bad. But this one kind of hurts because I think most beginner paintings don't fail because of a bad technique. They fail because maybe we didn't stop soon enough. And again, tutorials keep going until the painting looks finished, right? But they don't show that moment when the stopping point was the right choice for the artist. So as experienced artists, we tend to stop a lot of times before feel safe. Not always, I will say. But a lot of times I'll stop, especially when I'm teaching things here as tutorials, because I feel like, I'm done at that point. And then I realize, oh, maybe I can go a little bit further. Or I'll wait and I'll look at it and go back to it another day later or something. But beginners, what tends to happen is we will push past that moment often because we're not familiar, we're not quite sure of ourselves. And then once that watercolor is overworked, there is no undo button. But again, as an experienced artist, I know how to do a little bit more fixing. All right, and then tip number 5, copying builds your muscle memory, not judgment. So here is the honest truth. Copying tutorials can help your hand, but not your judgment. So they don't teach you how to adapt, how to fix mistakes, how to make choices when things are going wrong. And painting really is mostly about fixing things when they go wrong. And I think that's why artists who improve the fastest are those artists that test, that fail, that make adjustments, not copying perfectly. So I am curious if you have done tutorials exactly and felt disappointed with your results. And what part of watercolor do you find most frustrating? Is it the timing? Is it control? Or is it knowing when to stop? So leave me a comment down below and let me know. So if tutorials haven't been clicking for you, don't quit. Just stop treating them like that formula or baking that you're supposed to get right. Start watching how the tutorials or the artist responds. Notice the timing. Notice when they pause or stop before it feels finished. Because watercolor isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about paying attention and adjusting as you go. And that's the shift that changes everything. And that's when watercolor finally starts to feel a lot less frustrating and a lot more fun. So if you're curious about the full tutorials, feel free to check out my playlist on watercolors. My recent ones, almost most of them have more real-time tutorials going on. And make sure to join us, subscribe here if you haven't. I would love to have you. And make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff that we always have to say at the end of all of our shows. This isn't a show. It should be a show. It's quite the show, actually. All right, you guys have a great week. Bye.